Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 30. We made it. Day 30. Day 30, we are here. We went live for 30 straight days. And thank you for all of those that have been joining live, watching the replays, commenting. If you're listening to this on the podcast, wherever you're listening to, thank you for joining. Over 30, or I should say exactly 30 days of talking about different aspects of stewardship. And what a powerful 30 days it has been. And today I thought it would be super fitting to end with stewarding your commitments. Because going live for 30 days, there's a lot of things that come up. There were a lot of times where I said, you know what, we got to do it a little bit later. On the weekends, we did it a little bit later. Yeah, there's things that always come up. And so when was the last time that you fully stuck with a commitment? Or maybe you're one of those that are like, I don't like to make super long commitments because what if I don't follow through? When I started these 30 days of lives, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it all the way through, but I was committed no matter what. Even if I had to adjust the time, even if something came up, I would do it later. And we made it happen. So here we are, stewarding your commitments. So what I first want to start with when it comes to stewarding your commitments, what comes to mind? What type of a commitment comes to mind when you think of commitments? Like, what's the first thing that pops up? A couple things that I want to be able to go over today that have popped up when I was just thinking, okay, what are going to be some good things to talk about when it comes to stewarding commitments? And I was thinking a couple of these: spiritual, relational, physical, and professional. Spiritual, relational, and physical, professional commitments and stewarding those. Let's talk with spiritual. Obviously, you guys have heard me talk that I am very much like just, Lord, here's my time, first thing in the morning, and really just even being as in tune as I can all day. I remember that there were times where I'm like, I'll get to you, Lord. I'll get to you. I'll get to you. And I got so sick of saying I'll get to you because I never did, that I really had to make a change. I truly had to make a change. And so how I steward my spiritual commitments and growth is by doing it first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, since I get up really early during the week at 2 a.m., or even on the weekends, I get up between probably like around 5 a.m. on the weekends, 4 or 5 a.m., because I want to have my first hours be my first fruit and give it back to God. In church, they talk about giving your first fruit like your tithe and your offering, but there's also first fruits with your time as well, and where you give your time to. So where are you giving that time to? Is it rushing into the day? Oh, I need a few more hours of sleep. Like, there's a lot of disciplines that you can have leading up to make sure you have the sleep and the rest. And sometimes you don't get it. But I am 100% committed every morning to getting up and giving those first fruits to God, whether it's an hour and a half, 2 hours, 30 minutes, something, right? Absolutely something. Molly said this on YouTube watching live. My husband and I are committed for the gym in September. Well, now I think we're in October. Or maybe you were doing it in September. I hear what you're saying, but that's amazing. Doing it together, stewarding your body. I will get to that in a little bit because that is super important. But first and foremost, we got to feed our spirit, man. Like, we got to win the war in our mind, get our spirit right. That is first and foremost, in my opinion. First fruits go right to God. Otherwise, guess where they go? Stress, anxiety, worry, fear. Tell me I'm wrong. If you don't feed your spirit first, everything else will take over. And when I get up in the morning, I literally feel like I have to put the boxing gloves on and I'm going toe to toe with the enemy trying to hit me with boom, 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 until I get in my car, because that's my secret place, and I feed my spirit. And I either war it out with God, cry it out, laugh it out, sing it out, read in his word, all the above. That's why I do it in my car, by the way, because I can make as much as little noise as I want. No one's going to hear. I'm not going to wake up anybody else in the house. So stewarding your spiritual life first and foremost, because now you're giving the space to not just talk God's ear off, but to be quiet and be still. That's hard. That is hard. I turn on soaking worship music that really helps my brain to stop thinking of all the things I need to do, bring it down, and really get focused. That's what I like to do. It really helps me get focused. That's my little trick. Next is relational commitments. We can get so busy with stewarding all the other things, maybe our body or our job or whatever things, But what about relationships? First and foremost, if you're married, your spouse, then your kids, then parents, family members, friends. Like we could always find an excuse as to, I don't have time, always. And there will be seasons sometimes you really don't have time. Let them know that. Let them know, hey, it's not that I'm not thinking of you. It is just a kind of a crazy season. Crazy season. Give them some context. Because again, people love to use the 4-letter curse word, busy. And then people are like, oh, so you're just too busy for me. I hate it when people tell me that. No, never said that. You're just assuming. But what you're actually telling me is I haven't explained to you why I haven't been able to give as much time. Not that I don't want to. This is just where I'm at. And I would love support. I would love support. And let's put something on the calendar to be able to get together. One thing my husband and I have, and sometimes we slack and we need to definitely be better about this, is a non-negotiable date night every week. Whether that's a movie together, in the house, out of the house, ice cream, dinner, a walk, like something where it's intentional, at least once a week, at least. Because we can get so busy doing the thing and going in opposite directions that we need to be able to come back and pour into each other. We need to. Everybody needs to. So relationships, stewarding relationships, pouring into the ones that, are pouring into you and pouring into the ones that mean something to you. And sometimes you might be that person that is more intentional than others. I find myself being that friend a lot of times where I'm like, I'll reach out. And then, there's not as much in return. And then I also have friends that do the same thing. They reach out. And then you find those people where it's a good balance, right? If you want to have a relationship with that person, pour in, have a phone call, get together, lunch, coffee, something. Time with people. Time is something that costs us the most, but people always value is your time. So the next one is physical commitments. Ooh, I love this. And Molly already touched on it. Her and her husband just being dedicated to the gym. A lot of people will skip this. Oh, I don't have time. Pretty soon, 10 pounds extra later, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. Like they have a gut here. They have saggy over here. They have this over here. Their health is getting into disarray. Like their heart's beating too fast. I mean, there are so many different things when it comes to our health that we get to steward it physically. So for me, I steward spiritually first. And then right after that, I go right into the gym. It's like warring in my mind, in my spirit, in the gym. Boom, boom, boom. Already done 3 hard things. So by the time the day starts to awaken, starts to get light out, I am ready to tackle the day because I already had 3 war rooms that we've done the thing. So I'm ready for anything that life throws at me. I can work things out. I can push myself through. I can do things I don't want to do, but I know it's going to push me and make me better. So then when life throws things at me that I'm not anticipating, it's like, okay, great. Then we'll just figure it out. We'll go with the flow, but we've already done hard things. That is a key thing. I cannot stress enough. You can steward your commitment so much better if you already start the day doing hard things, pouring into your mind, disciplining your mind, pouring into your spirit, disciplining the physical aspect of training your body and getting outside the comfort zone. And I've been doing that lately. Over the last 30 days, I put myself on a 30-day abdominal challenge. I feel great. I feel strong in that area. Now I'm doing a cardio challenge where I know it's going to beat me up a little bit, but that's okay because my heart needs it, right? My heart needs it. And I know that. Now, physically, you look at me saying like, oh, she must be healthy. Her heart is good. I know that my heart could probably use a little extra cardio. I know it can. So I'm doing that for the month of October. So no matter when you're listening to this, like put yourself on assignments and commitments that you hold you accountable. Start doing that and watch how your life flourishes. But physically committing to how you physically get into the gym or exercise, whatever that may look like, there's going to be days you don't want to do it anyways. Sometimes those are my best workouts. I'm barely getting into the gym. I'm like, I'm so tired. I don't want to be here. And then I'm like, you know what? Forget this attitude. We're going to go harder. And then I get an even better workout because I know if something is fighting me on it, then I get to press into that and kick it in the butt. Physical also is how you feed yourself, what you put in your mouth. Be aware of the refined sugars, the fast food, the cheap, easy processed. Your body needs good nourishment and supplements. I'm a huge supplement geek. because our food does not nearly have enough things that, enough nutrients, I should say, in food to give us what we need. So I am a supplement junkie, all natural, all natural. And then lastly, professional. Lastly, professional, stewarding professional commitments. If you have a goal, go get it. If you're not on track to hit your goal, ask for support. Are you doing the things you know you need to do? Are you connecting with people, networking, growing your network to build your net worth? Are you like really adding value into people's lives? Are you sharing with people what you do? Are you being open and unapologetic? One of the things I hear a lot, especially in our industry of network marketing, there's a lot of people that are scared to say they're in network marketing because they're like, oh, well, what if somebody like judges me for it? So what? If they don't want to be a part of an industry that creates more millionaires every year and it gives you freedom in the pockets of your time or full time in a place where you can have amazing leadership development, not saying every company is this, but a lot do, especially ours. That is a huge piece that we focus on is leadership development, discipleship, building leaders that build leaders. Like if you want to get so stuck on the government and the world saying it's a pyramid scheme, pay attention. Pay attention to a company that is $1 trillion in debt, wants to send money overseas, doesn't help the people at home, and that literally is just backwards on things. Backwards. But yet they're saying that's the scheme, that's the scam. What they really want you to do is fall in line with them to be one of their zombies rather than you thinking for yourself. One of my favorite shirts that I have, and it's so worn, but I still have it, is Think Why It's Still Legal. And I bought that during the pandemic. And when I wore it around, people are like, I was like, this is crazy to me. Crazy. Like you're just getting spoon fed by the mass media and the government so you can be in line and keep being programmed. You guys, snap out of it, please, for the love, for the love. Their job is to get you in their system so you can get in with their sick care, so then you can eat their poor food, you have a horrible mindset, and then you don't get anywhere in life. That is what they want. Please listen to what I'm saying. I was in the media. I know exactly what they're trying to perpetuate, and it's only gotten worse since I got out. Only gotten worse. Please. So especially when it comes to the professional side of things, there's so many people that feel like they get stuck when there are so many opportunities out there. So again, back to the network marketing thing. If you are in network marketing, you should be loud and proud about that. I found something that within this time next year is going to help me reach X. Step into that new car that we need. Pay off debt. Be able to put a down payment on a house that we're going to buy. Help me pay for my kids' childcare. Help me pay for my kids' schooling. Help me have extra money. Help me be able to give more. Whatever. Like, why are we so ashamed of that? We're sharing something with somebody that they're going to buy anyways, but we're not helping the big box stores. Why shouldn't people get paid? Like, I will be getting on that soapbox forever because there's so many people that try to hit me with the pyramid scheme and this and that. And from somebody who used to think that way, but then was so wildly wrong, and I will eat my words because I was like, well, yeah, if I'm going to spend the time sharing this with other people, why shouldn't I get paid? Like, come on. If you don't have an extra $500 to $1,000 in your bank account, you should get into network marketing. You should make that investment. You should do whatever it takes. You should, because your paycheck is dependent on how many people you get to serve. And when you focus on the people, the money comes. How many people can I serve? How many people can I talk to? How many people can I share this gift with? And if it's a yes or no, great. Great. Thank you for that. But we keep going and we keep standing in the gap and we keep serving. So that is my little 2 cents when it comes to network marketing, because so many people have it twisted. And people are seeing these companies rip the network marketing model out and go affiliate. That's on them. Get with a company that's privately owned and funded. Hint, hint, Kingdom Alliance. Just saying. Know who you are getting in bed with. Know who you are doing business with. And sometimes people will deceive you, and that happens. It does. Now, when it comes to professional, I talk to a lot of coaches as well, being a former coach myself, being able to steward and be in a community where you can get poured into. As a coach, you do a lot of pouring out and it can be very lonely. Get poured into. Find a place with leverage. Find a way where you can add more value. Charge your worth. Ooh, love talking about that, charging your worth. A lot of people don't. They get scared to ask. The reason why you're not getting paid if you're an entrepreneur, a coach, a network marketer, or working for yourself in some regard is because you're scared to ask and be charged what you're worth. If you reverse engineer what it took for you to get there, to put all this together, you will realize, honey, how expensive you actually are. And people will pay for that. But only if you show up, you show out, and you're confident, they will respond. And it won't be for everybody, and that's okay. Now, if you are more in the 9 to 5 sector, like, don't just clock in and clock out of that job. How can you leave people better than when you found them? Maybe bring treats in the office one day. Say, oh, I love your shoes. How are you doing today? Like, really pouring into the people around you, because those people probably hate their job and just can't wait to go home. Maybe you're one of them. Can't wait to go home. But since you're in that environment so often, if you're clocking in and out of an office job or a job that you're just really in because it pays the bills, how can you leave people around you and whoever you interact with better than when you found them? I promise you, it'll make life a lot more enjoyable. But so many people are like, I can't wait for the weekend. Can't wait for the weekend. And you're missing the moments where you can go be a blessing or be blessed. I hope somebody's hearing what I'm saying. So, stewarding your commitments, whether it's spiritual, relational, physical, professional. There's so many things that we get to steward. When we make a commitment to ourselves, our job is a commitment. We're going to show up every day. Physically, we're committed to stewarding our body. Relationally, we're committed to building relationship with that person ongoing. Spiritually, we have the opportunity to connect with our Creator, to hear from Him when we are still enough, humble enough, and hungry enough. You just have to want it. So we get to steward our commitments. There's too many people that are making commitments, even outside of all the things that I've talked about, that are like, oh, maybe later, maybe next time. I don't really have time to do it. Like excuse. And then you wonder why you're getting the results that you're getting, because you're not staying committed. Discipline is so key. Being a person of your word is so key to yourself and to other people. That's all you have is your word. And if you don't show up, if you don't follow your word, and maybe something happened and you need to have a communication because there's a pivot, that's fine, I believe. But so many of us just kind of let it roll, being like, oh, let me just shrink back. It's like, anybody ever seen that gif of like Homer Simpson going into the bushes? So many people be doing that with their commitments. Like, they're Homer in the bushes. Like, come on. We get to do better. We get to do better. And when you follow and steward and stand tight with your commitments, no matter what, your life will change. It will change. I love this. Molly said, what we nourish ourselves with matters physically, spiritually, intellectually. Ooh, that's a good one too. Thank you so much for these 30 days of nourishment. Oh, you're so sweet. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. I know you've been on live for most of them. So amazing. I'm glad that you've received some value from them. So please type in the comments what you're learning. Please share this with somebody, because I know somebody needs to hear this big time. It's time to wake up and be people of our word and steward our commitments, follow through in our commitments in all areas of our life. And if there are some that you're like, ooh, maybe I could be better at that. Have grace for yourself. Then how can you get better at that? How can you improve 1% better every day? No one is asking for perfection, but it's up to you to steward yourself to get better. That's really what all these 30 days have been about, stewarding ourselves to be better, to be that person that God has created us to be. Because the world will just let you settle, and then beat you up because it told you to settle and you did. And they're like, oh, you're a loser. It's this like perpetuating cycle of crap. Break out of that cycle. Be the one. Be the change that people need to see. Because when you change yourself, you change the world. Thank you so much for joining me on this 30 days of lives. If you're watching and hearing the replays, just keep sharing what you're learning. Keep sharing this with other people. I'm just so grateful that we had this opportunity together, and it's just been an absolute pleasure. And I for sure will do it again, probably on a different topic. But hopefully you have learned something and enjoyed the topic of stewardship.